I have question 28. This is from the SAT number 9. This is April 2017. And the question is, as used in line 60, raw most nearly means. And the way to solve this is to go back to line 60, and we're going to look for where raw is being used in the sentence, and we'll just kind of figure out what word could best replace it, what nuance is being used, what is being suggested by the word. So we read raw here. Its ice-to-rock ratio matches the expected composition of the raw materials that would have been available at its current position early on, he says. And this is basically in the context of this scientist talking about Ceres, right? So far we've heard about a few different theories about where Ceres comes from. Most of the theories were about the fact that Ceres basically came from the outer solar system, was dragged in by Uranus and Neptune through gravity, and it ended up in the inner solar system. So it's actually a foreigner, it's actually a stranger, it's actually like a distant cousin of Pluto. Whereas what this scientist is saying is he's basically saying, I think that there's no reason to believe here, no reason to believe Ceres is a stranger there. And what he's saying is its ice to rock ratio matches the expected composition of the raw materials that would have been available at its current position early on, he says. So he's basically saying that the ice to rock ratio and the expected composition, so basically the actual materials that make up Ceres, it makes sense to say that it actually formed within the asteroid belt, not that it migrated from the outer solar system. So we're looking for raw materials, right? So basically the expected composition of the raw materials, the foundational materials, and let's sort of see. What I like to do is sometimes I'm able to plug a word in advance. In a situation like this, I can't even really think about a word to plug in, so I just go down to the answer choices and try my best to match one. So answer choice A says answer choice A says original. So that would mean that basically what this scientist is saying is that the composition of materials, it's the original materials of that area, makes sense for Ceres, right? Ceres could have originated there because the original materials are the same. That actually seems to work pretty good. We can keep it as an answer choice. Young is answer choice B, which young doesn't really make too much sense. We can talk about young when we're talking about inanimate things, but for the most part, we're talking about animate objects. But what B is saying here would be as if we're saying that the expected composition of the young materials as opposed to the old materials that are there, it just doesn't really fit, doesn't make sense for what we're trying to say, so we can eliminate B. Expose would be emphasizing the fact that the materials are like they're exposed, they're vulnerable, they're open, they're not protected, they're not shielded by anything else. So we're not emphasizing the fact that these materials are exposed. We're emphasizing the fact that these materials are probably original or they're raw, they're the foundational materials that are available at the time, not that they're exposed. Inexperienced is a word that we would use to describe somebody or at least something living. It doesn't make sense to say the inexperienced materials, so we can eliminate D, which is going to leave us with answer choice A for our correct answer for question 28.